We just arrested them and, instead of doing the $10,000 surgery, which is now a huge risk. So I don't cut into anything unless it's the last, absolutely at last resort. Same way about myself, as I said. I could go and have that finger corrected tomorrow, but in a year that will correct itself. Or I could go in and have a surgery and end up getting MRSA in the hospital. I don't take those chances. Stay out of hospitals is my motto. And all the way down in that stretch now. Now it's easier with those longer reins, so you got more length that you can work with. All the way down there. You can widen your hands there. You can get her off your side. But if you're not getting the stretch, you need to get her to step over. If you're not getting the stretch, the back isn't lifting. So just going on doing what you're doing, you've got to get the back up there like that. There. So as soon as you get that sideward step, then she begins to understand. She pushes the back up and pushes the neck forward. A little bit deeper yet there before we start the trot work. Yeah, all the way down there. Once again, correct that again. There. There. Once again, try to take up the slack quickly. I'm just widening your hands. She starts to go down and she pops up. There you go, a little shoulder in again. Go back in that position. Every time you lose the stretch, we go back to the shoulder in. There. There, and all the way down there. Again, move her over again, and back to the outside rein. From both hands, come a little. If you're going to move her to that side, both reins have to come to this side. We move the horse into the outside rein a little bit. Get a little more step over, so she starts to yield. There. Then let her down, like that. Every time you lose it, same thing again. Every time you lose the stretch, you've got to go back to the shoulder in. There. There. Nice. There. Now trot. So just start the trot. Don't worry about a perfect transition. Just start it. Probably not going to be perfect. There. As you trot away, just stay on the circle here a little bit. And just for a moment here, just correct your rising diagonal. And just let everything relax, slow her down a little bit. She's one that wants to be a little bit on the quick side. So just give and take, keep giving and taking. That is now, when I say give and take, don't pull back on both reins at once, just give and take one rein. Just soften her on one side, not on both sides at the same time. Slow it down a little bit, still too fast. I'm kind of running a little bit, running faster than she's going to be able to stretch. Slow it down, you stretch up, and easy. Just take your time. Easy does it. There you go. Let's come back to the walk if you want. Stretch her in the walk a bit if you're going to do that.
There wasn't a lot of point in that right now.
What's that?
I said there wasn't a lot of point in all that.
Yeah, well, exactly. Come back to the walk, and that's exactly what you should do at home. It's not very good. Well, I just put you on a lunge line here for a second, if you don't mind. Help you slow her down a little bit. Catch up to you there. Okay. I'm going to put you on the lunge here for just a second. Let me slow this down a little bit. Okay. Take a moment to stretch her in that walk. Yeah. Nope, it doesn't. It has to be under control. That was the right thing to do. Just bring her right back to the walk. Now soften her here and get that stretch a little deeper. Soften her again. Move her to the outside. There, like that. There, like that. There. And keep her to the outside there a little bit. Keep moving her. Take the slack out of the reins. Just step a little bit outside again as you get her to yield and soften. Move her to the outside a little bit more. And a little bit more. Keep moving her out, away from your inside leg. And let her down in the stretch now. Soften her again, take a little contact there, move her out, we'll stick a little shoulder in on the circle there. I like that. Move her out again a little bit, yeah, let her down in the stretch, like that. That's more like it. Now go ahead and ask her to trot. Not rising, trot, sit. Direct your rising diagonal. Remember, we never sit on horses, folks, until they're over their backs. You do that. Now just slow down a little bit. That's it. Just constantly giving, taking. There you go, like that. That's more like it. Right there. Now, while you're softening, keep trying to give your hand forward now. It's not running away anymore. It's not as bad as she was anyway. Just give and take, stay with it. It's a little quick for a moment. Just stay rising with it. It's not bad. There, like that. Now keep asking her to soften with your reins, giving and taking a little bit, and yield, always giving back, seeing if she's ready to stretch forward a little bit. And just keeping her just like that, a little bit in the shoulder in position so she can't run. When they get straight, they can run really fast. Keep giving and taking. Let me see you give those reins just a little bit. Try to get your weight in your heel as you rise a little bit and stretch up and back. When the horse is going fast, you want to stretch up and go back. That was like kind of like throwing an anchor out of the boat. You know, it creates a little drag. So stretch up and get a little behind the motion so the horse can't just run with you. Now try to give your hands a little bit. Yeah, that's not a bad pace there. Now soften her from that position. There. Now we're good. Keep rising. Keep those shoulders back. Don't tense. Keep your legs a little more relaxed. Keep your toes lifted as you rise. Stretch up and back. There, now ask her to soften. Ask for a little bit of shoulder in position. Now try giving the reins. Let me see what she does. Loosen that death grip. There you go, like that. You just need to let go. There you go. That can be the hardest thing, is learning to let go on a horse that's running away with you. So, there. There, really nice now. That's much more like it. Just take that contact a little bit, soften her again. Just soften her back into the stretch. There, like that. And soften her again. As soon as she pops back up, don't wait for me to tell you. Stretch up and back with your shoulders. Keep your weight sinking into your heels. Giving and taking a little bit. Just never letting it become rigid. Never let your hands become stiff and rigid. And slow down just a little bit. There you go. Now give the rein. Give the rein. Give the rein. Give the rein. There you go. She's ready to go. Stay with it. Stay with it. It's a little fast, but no big deal. Stay with it. Take back the contact again. Take the slack out. There you go. Like that. And again, soften her again every time we lose it. And easy does it. And slowing down just a little bit. Just taking a moment. Don't worry about the frame. Yeah, just slow her a little bit. Keep going there. Keep going. Don't let her stop completely. There. And try it again. You're doing fine.
Get my workout.
You're getting your workout. Good. And there you go. Now, there. Now just ever so gently softening her there. Let her stretch, let her stretch. Don't slow her down. Keep it right there for a minute. When she starts to stretch, let's let her do whatever speed she needs to do in the stretch. Take a little contact again if you lost it again. So take the slack out. There. And just very lightly positioning her shoulder in right there. Good. Keep that. There you go. Keep that. There. Now start to yield. Keep trying to give the hand back. There. Slip a little more rein. Let me see what she does. There. Like that. There. Let it go. 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 Let my people go. Right there. And just as soon as she pops back up, just soften again like you did before without being overly so. And think about positioning there in the shoulder in again. So just think about positioning her off that inside leg. There, like that. Just stay right there. There, now start to give your hands. She's ready to go. Like that. Right there. That's really good. There, really good. Go with it, but don't lean forward. So as she starts to go down, don't you stretch over with her, because that what makes her run and you lose the contact. So you have to keep your body absolutely where it is, above the ball, so to speak, otherwise the ball is going to disappear out from underneath you. That's it. So put in that little bit of a shoulder in position again. Like that. A little bit of shoulder in again, right there. That's it, keep soft there. Now again, she's ready to go. There, like that. There, beautiful. Same thing again. Every time you lose it, you just slow her down, go back on that shoulder by using the shoulder in and by stretching up and back, so she doesn't just get a hold of your hands and start running faster. There. There, let her down in that. We're going to take a little, just keep softening a little actively. There you go.
I think I have to rest.
Oh, okay. You rest and walk. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Let her stretch for a minute. All the way back out. That was really good. You were getting there. You had some really good steps. And this is a good thing for you to do at home if you feel like you can't get somebody to help you with it by being at the other end of the lunge line, like I am doing here. You just get control of this. But just know that as you get all the walk and everything, this starts to begin to get better. This will all just get easier and easier. But the trick is, what I hope you see here, is that the biggest thing with horses that want to run like this is you can't be tense. You just have to be so relaxed in your mind and in your hands, you just can't grab a hold of it. Because the more we start pulling back, then the faster they go, and the tenser we get, and it becomes that vicious cycle of running. I like that. Let's stretch, take a little contact though. Let's stretch her all the way down. So when we're walking here, don't be satisfied with anything unless you're stretching all the way down. We have to be very consistent about how we do things. So if we ask for the stretch once, oh my goodness, I'm getting all tied up in this. There we go. I had the unfortunate experience of getting drugged by a horse once when I was about 19. That was an interesting, I lived through it, but it's made me very aware of where my feet are. I was actually on a horse that fell down. Came around a corner and fell and then jumped up and took off, and my foot went through the stirrup and it took off at a mad gallop around the arena, dragging me along behind it. All the way down. I always look at it like, you know, when something happens that you learn from, as opposed to get hurt from. It's like the universe wants to teach you a lesson rather than punish you. And I think if we have a good attitude to our horses, it tends to go that way. There, really nice, like that. Now let's go ahead and halt there, and let's go the other way for a moment. What a good girl. And just know that at home you should do your lunging work and all that stuff. I would do the work at hand and the lunging before you get on to really prepare this horse to get up. And all that will help get her over her runs. Over the runs there, all the way back into that stretch again. Deeper. Go ahead and try if you like. Go ahead and rise to the trot. Very good. Don't sit, rise. Never sit on a hollow horse. Just take that, slow her down a little bit. So every time you need to slow her down, just put her a little more on that shoulder and stretch her upper body back. So you're still just slightly forward. And just keep giving and taking. Don't let it become a death grip in your hand. Keep your hands even kind of open while you're riding there, so it never becomes like a hard fist in your hand. There, like that. There, now. Right there, it's not a bad speed. Keep that shoulder in, right there. Good. Now start to let her stretch. Give. Here she goes. Give. She's ready. Don't be afraid if it gets a little faster. It's going to get a little faster when she starts to stretch. Just stay with it. It's not that fast.